Now, the next segment we're going to roll in, this is going to be called Did You Catch That? And this is going to be our sports segment. And I'm going to let Will take the lead on this one because he's got a specific topic that he wants to talk about. But then he also has a question for me that I told him I don't want to know what the question is beforehand. We talked about it earlier. I want to get it live. So we're going to get the live reaction of this question from me. But Will, I'll let you go ahead and start it off because you want to talk about Josh Jacobs, but you also want to talk about more specifically the running back position in the NFL.
Well, I want to talk about Josh Jacobs because, in case you don't know, your boy is a huge Raider fan. Raider Nation. Super hardcore. I get it from my dad, Charles Dingus Jr., his, your dad's older brother. My whole family's Cowboys, so his dad, my uncle, my cousins, everybody in the family is pretty much Cowboy fan, except for me and my dad. No love lost. Every year we go for a Cowboy Raiders Super Bowl. It's ironic because the organization owners have always been intertwined and almost cousins in a way in the industry, so it's pretty fitting. It would obviously fall out this way, So, having getting that out of the way, huge Raider fan. So, Josh Jacobs, it sucks because, I love Derek Carr. Is he or will he ever win a ring for us or for the Saints? Man, I don't know. But I thought he was a great player. I had his back. I didn't really want to get rid of him just because there was nothing out there to replace him.
Right.
But they do it anyway. And they give us Jimmy G, which is, in my opinion, kind of like a Derek Carr with more injury-prone tendencies. But whatever. At this point,
he ain't got an arm like Carr, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what I'm
saying.
saying.
Deep ball.
Yeah. But you look at the QB average and everything; it's pretty much across the board about the same. Derek Carr's got more longevity. He's been in the game a little longer as far as stats are concerned. But on surface level, you trade Derek Carr, for what? You know what I mean? I got Jimmy G now. Literally, we have to restructure his contract as soon as we get him because he has to have surgery again. It's a mess. My team's a mess.
Yeah.
If you don't know, it's hard to be a Raider fan, in case you didn't know. But that's the love of the game. But having that at the helm don't even get me started on Daniels, the coach. Now we got this whole running back situation. The game has evolved into the point to where, it's a corporate thing, right? The public wants to see the ball being aired out. Everybody wants to see it being aired out. You want to see them long passes. Deep balls, and it sucks because of that, the game has kind of lost the old school feeling of pound it down the throat, run it, now pass. It's become the opposite. You want to pass. All right, we need a couple yards, whatever. So owners and coaches and within the organizations, they're looking at these running backs we just need grunts. We just need some guys that can just get some yards here and there, whatever. The position has become underappreciated, and that's wrong because I feel like it needs to be more appreciated. Money does need to be pumped into these guys. Yes, you're running a risk. They can catch an injury real quick. And then now you're kind of screwed because, you invested so much money in this guy to guarantee you this and blah, blah, blah. But it's all about strategy. The strategy of the game has changed. And now, these coaches and these owners are looking at these running backs well, if I have just a bunch of these guys that I pay very little, that I could just interchange in between plays to just kind of because you can't pass every play, right? But like, you look back in the day, like that's all they used to do was run every fucking play. You know, the West Coast offense didn't come along until like the '60s, the Raiders and stuff. Like, it's a lot of just pound and ground. Now it's not.
Yeah.
It's all air it out, and it's unfortunate. Josh Jacobs is like, you know, we need him, man. Out of like, you look at all the running backs in the game right now, like, and there's a lot of them that are following Josh Jacobs' footsteps right now. The whole thing is, they're trying to not only get their money, but help guarantee the value of the position to where other future running backs will be there, get their guaranteed money.
Let me tell you the whole problem, Will.
It's almost like a strike, Can
you see the screen right now?
Yeah.
See this little part right here? Fully guaranteed money.
Yeah.
0. It's about guaranteed money, man. This guy can go out, he can break his knee, he can,
and he's got nothing.
He's got nothing to show. He's got nothing coming to him, nothing guaranteed. And he's played 4 seasons in the NFL. He's 20-something-year-old guy. What do you do for the next 40, 50 years? Like, what do you have to live on? What do you you go to Alabama.
But they didn't treat Emmitt Smith that way. They didn't treat, the bus that way. Like the position in the game has changed to where now they can get away with that shit.
Yeah. You're right.
That's what's fucked up about it. So, like, it sucks as a fan because I'm just like, come on, man. Like, sign the contract. Let's go. But it's like, I get where he's coming from as a person. And then I'm frustrated at the way the game is because it's like, who's going to budge first? It ain't the ones with deep pockets. They're like, we're going to end up losing this guy. Or he's going to sit out a whole year like Barkley's talking about, and you're just like, so basically I'm saying I'm a Raider fan and my team's going to suck this year. And it's, as usual, obviously like over like, it's obviously out of my control, but like at this time it's like, it's a bigger issue than just being a fan of, a team. I'm a fan of the game. And I want to get back to that strategy of, you need to mix it, bring back the fullbacks, like
you
gotta mix in that run
to the
game.
choir about that one, dude.
You gotta mix in that run game. You gotta go back to like the strategy of out coaching the coach because you got a well-rounded team. You can score on all fronts. Your offense can score 2 different ways. Yada yada yada, and like that, like, so I'm frustrated as a Raider fan, and I'm even more frustrated as a football fan because this is only going to be the beginning of what we're seeing, unless something changes. Unless coaches start, bitching at their owners, like, hey, fucking pay this dude because this is part of my strategy. I'm going back to this. Blah.
We
blah,
need him to win. Type shit.
I mean, like, you look at the Titans with Derrick Henry, like, this guy's like, the reason why the Titans haven't gotten to where they're going is because that's all their team is Derrick Henry and running the ball. And he's a huge guy. So, yeah, I mean, he got his money and they pay him and whatever. But, like, it's to look at as an example of, like, oh, well, we need both fronts. We need a good quarterback, good offensive line, good running back. Like, like you need all fronts. The Titans can't get to that mark because they don't have the quarterback. They don't have the next level. They just got Derrick Henry. And if Derrick Henry goes down, they ain't got nothing.
Yeah, we saw that happen.
Or if they got Derrick Henry, but you can outcoach that team because that's all they have, and you know that. You know what I mean?
That's their style.
Yeah. So like, you gotta be able to change it up, and if you don't have both, you're fucked. Excuse my language, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to you being a Cowboy fan.
I
have a real question for you.
Okay. Here we go.
I have a serious question, and I'm not
Football
trying to
season's
be.
officially started now.
I'm not trying to be like a hater because I'm your cousin. I'm your
I think I already
family.
know what he's gonna ask.
I just want to know, in your real opinion, why is it? And I have my own opinion of the answer to this question, but why is it every year, especially here recently? Let's take the recent Cowboys team we have now. Okay, I'm not talking about the past.
This year's team.
Let's talk about like the past couple of years, right? This team,
Okay.
specifically Dak Prescott. Why is it every season going into the season, you watch ESPN and NFL and all these like these sports fuckers, whatever. Excuse my language
Right.
again. Why is it every year the Cowboys and Dak Prescott are always predicted to be like they're automatically in the top 10 going into the season? Predicted. They're Dak Prescott's numbered 9 or 10 as the best quarterback in the league. And the Cowboys are predicted, 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 the team to beat and going into the season. Why is it every year when they haven't proven shit? They haven't done anything. Dak Prescott ain't done shit. Like, and I'm not a hater. The guy's talented, but he hasn't proven anything. The team itself hasn't proven anything. The organization hasn't done anything. But every year, they're not only in the top of the conversation, they're in that top 10 of the conversation.
Okay. So I'll start by saying that Dak Prescott hasn't done anything. Okay. So let's look at what Dak Prescott did last year. He beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and knocked them out of the playoffs. He basically retired Tom Brady.
A 47-year-old quarterback.
A 47-year-old quarterback that everybody held as the greatest of all time, that just a year before they're like, oh my God, this guy's going to play till he's 50. Oh my God, this guy looks so good. Oh my God, he recently won a Super Bowl with a team that he just played on, right? A team that we played, lost to in the beginning of the year, and comes back a year later. And Dak has a excellent performance against them. So let's see exactly what Dak Prescott has done. Okay, and that's what the internet's so cool.
But didn't he lose to Philly that went on to the Super Bowl?
No, he didn't lose to Philly. He lost to San Francisco. Now, if you want to talk about what he did to Philly, we could talk about that, because his record against the NFC East, which you have to win your division to get into the playoffs.
Right.
He's owned the NFC East since he's been around. But let's just talk about what he did against Tampa. He was 25 of 33, which gives him about 75%, which, hey, that's pretty good. I mean, you do something 75% of the time, you'd say that's okay. It's pretty good, He went for 300 yards in the playoffs against Tampa Bay. Not just Tom Brady, but it was Tampa Bay, because no one's acting like this was the Tom Brady of New England, of, oh my God, he's doing everything. He's so great. Yeah, he had a little bit of help in Tampa Bay. Okay, well, Dak Prescott, and I know Tom Brady doesn't play defense, but there was a lot of good defensive players on that Tampa Bay team. 25 of 33, 75%, 305 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 143 quarterback rate. It threw for 11 average yards per attempt. He ran for a touchdown. Whatever. It's not the greatest game ever, but he beat someone in the playoffs. Now, why I will say that the Cowboys are always involved in the conversation. First and foremost, the reason why the Cowboys are on the tip of the tongue of every single person in the media, which is annoying as hell, is because views, clicks, likes, comments and responses. That's what's going to get people to talk. Because half the people love the Cowboys, half the people fucking hate the Cowboys for both the same reasons. They intertwine.
Right.
So they interact and
Which
they
was
hate
my
each other.
which was my answer to the question. I get it.
Right.
So let me ask you personally. Do you think Dak Prescott is a top 5 quarterback going into
Who's the
season?
top 5?
I don't know. I don't care. I'm asking you.
Before I
Do you
answer
think
that question, let's look at the top 5 quarterbacks in the league.
Well, these are all opinion based anyway. These are
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's going to be based on my opinion, but I want to look at stats because I want to base my opinion on stats.
Right, but these lists that I'm talking about, these are just analysts and ESPN, like their opinions too. You know what I mean? So I'm asking you personally, if it's just you and me talking about like quarterbacks in the league right now, would you put Dak Prescott in the top 5?
I have to look at the top 5 and see, because off the top of my head, I'm not going to like, no, hey, look, this and that. And I'm not going to sit there and go, yeah, Dak, just off. No, I'm not going to be that ignorant fan. I'm going to do it off of stats. So let's go to NFL, ESPN,
honestly,
whatever.
Honestly, like if you look at these lists that these, these fucking networks put out and shit, whatever, they're household names, man. Like Aaron Rodgers is always on the list, and he's really on the list now because he's with the Jets. But it's like, okay, like I'm not saying he's not a bad quarterback. He's a Hall of Famer for sure, future Hall of Famer. But he's a household name, like it's Aaron Rodgers. But like, what has he done lately, So like, what are we really basing all this on?
What are we really basing all of this on? That's a good question.
It's predictions and opinions, right? What do you think is going to happen this season, right? So I don't know. All I'm saying is like I just want to bring it up because every year it's the same thing, Dak Prescott, and blah blah blah. But it's like I don't know.
Right now, if you look at passing yards, he's the 20th from last year, but he was hurt last year. But he was the 20th in passing yards. Okay, yards per attempt. How about we go to touchdowns? That's the most important part. In touchdowns, he was right behind Derek Carr. He had 23. Derek Carr 24. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. He was like the 13th, 14th. Okay, so let's make the top 5 quarterback list right now. Number 1, come on. We all know it's Patrick Mahomes. Honestly, you don't like it.
It makes my stomach sick. But
I might not like it, but he's the best guy out there, right? And I'm not talking about what's his rate versus his complete. Like, I don't care about the stats, right? Because honestly, stats ain't what really wins, right? It's a team game. Who's the best quarterback? Who's the best running back? All this other stuff.
And coaching. He's one of the best coaches there is.
100%. So let's say, to re-ask your question, you're saying, is Dak a top 5 quarterback? Okay. Let me say this. Who are 5 quarterbacks I'd put before Dak Prescott?
That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to hear.
Okay. Patrick Mahomes. Because I've seen him do it. I've seen him win. I've seen him do the crazy stuff. But he also has Travis Kelce. Let's hope no one ever forgets that in the history of time.
It's not like this. Read.
Yeah, exactly. But come on, Travis Kelce, come on. And if Brady had Kelce, he'd still be playing. Let's be honest.
Yeah, he had Gronk, and he made Gronk go to Tampa Bay with him out of retirement.
Exactly. He would, if he had Kelce, he would just be like, "Great, this is another Gronk. I can just ride him." Okay. Josh Allen, of course. Josh Allen's a beast. I'd put him in front of Prescott, 100%. Yes. Okay. Who's after that? I say Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow definitely And this kind of sucks for you because these are all AFC guys, right? You know what I mean? Dak Prescott
But I
doesn't
had to
have
do
to
it.
be. You know what I mean? What we don't have the Dallas Cowboys don't have to be the top 3 best quarterbacks to make it to the Super Bowl. So that's to me is a good thing. Sorry, like that sucks for you. It sucks
Yeah.
for the
See, we
AFC
do,
team,
and we don't make it. You don't, and you still don't make it.
right? But that's true. But okay, let's keep
Just
going.
saying.
So we got 3 of them. We got Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow. Okay. Now, if I can share my screen, let's see. Who else have they got up here? And this is just NFL.com.
You think Jalen
passing
Hurts?
yards.
You think Hurts is better than your boy?
No, I don't. Because he's more of a glorified running back than he is a quarterback. And I don't have to explain that. Everybody knows that. And just in my opinion, no, I don't think so. Okay. Definitely not Geno Smith. But he had a good year. Look at his. He had 30 freaking touchdowns last year, dude.
Watch out for Seattle. I think they're going to be a little dark horse next year.
A little sneaky team. I'm putting their running back up high on my list. I'm trying to get him.
If Geno can do what he did last year, like that's a dark horse.
Dude, he won a bunch of games for me when I'm just betting on the spread.
That division's shaky
Seattle.
too. Like,
yeah.
Calling it now, dark horse.
Kirk Cousins, I agree with you on that. Kirk Cousins, no way. Jared Goff, no way. Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers on the Jets. Okay? I'm not sold on that. That's a whole mystery, dude. Like, I'm not sold on the name Aaron Rodgers. If
the Jets defense can do what they did last year and
the Jets defense is going to be good.
That's going to help. But him individually, like, I'm not buying it either.
I'm not buying it, okay? Now, we keep going. Tom Brady's not there anymore. Justin Herbert. Another guy that I know you don't want to talk about, but
he's coming up, but he's still got more to prove, man.
He still makes mistakes.
Yeah, I think he's a great quarterback. He's going to be good, question mark, but I don't think he's proven enough to be like, oh, he's fucking top 5, he's top 10. Like, come on, calm down.
No,
they've done good with him. Let's see what happens. That's kind of where I'm at with him. But and that's not me being a Raider fan. That's just me being real.
Okay, but I will put him at number 4. I will put him at number 4.
You would put him above Matt Stafford.
Yeah. As of right now, yeah. Actually, as far as like, is he going to play the whole season? And he is injury prone too. But Matt Stafford, he's on his last couple legs. But I'm not saying
he's better than Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. Herbert. He's definitely better than Trevor Lawrence in my opinion.
Okay, Herbert's better than Derek Carr. Why does nobody put any respect on Carr's name?
The same way that no one's putting respect on Dak's name. The same reason why. Because he's in a spot where he's expected to win. It's a big spotlight, but he hasn't won. And they're like, I haven't seen him do it. You've seen him do it, Will. You're like, I remember this game just like me. I can go, I remember Dak, he did this, that. When has he done it in front of everyone? In front of the world? And that's what separates him from Patrick Mahomes.
Derek Carr should have won the MVP had he not got injured on Christmas Eve. We were like 12 and whatever. On the way to the playoffs.
Agree with you.
Like,
I remember that.
Had that not happened, there would be respect on his name. You know what I mean? But like,
right. But it's just the thing is he hasn't done it in front of everyone, and that's why the lack of respect. Just like the lack of respect.
The man had 9 different head. I think he had 6 different head coaches in his 9 years of the Raiders.
I see you. I feel you. Now look, I'm going to do you a solid. I'm going to tell you that Lamar Jackson, he's the top 5 guy. So, Lamar Jackson's going to be my number 4. not Justin Herbert. But Justin Herbert, he's probably going to be my number 5. So if you ask me, do I think Dak Prescott is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL? Not with the list that I have right now. I think there's 5 better quarterbacks than him.
What about top 10?
But, yeah, 100%. But
so within that top 10, would you put Derek Carr somewhere in there? I don't even care about ranking. Would Dak Prescott and Derek Carr,
Saints or on the Saints or on the Raiders?
We're talking about currently right now going to the season. Like it is what it is.
But this is my question to you. Is it Derek Carr from last year on the Raiders or is it Derek Carr this year on the Saints? Am I thinking top 10?
Wait, I don't
and you're going to be surprised by my answer.
I don't think that matters because the Saints haven't happened yet. We're talking about current right now. Whether he was still with the Raiders or not, it honestly shouldn't matter.
Okay, if we're talking last year, no. If we're talking this year, maybe. And this is why. Because I think the Saints have better coaching. I think the Saints have better weapons. And I think that Derek Carr will have more success in a smaller window in that system than he did with the Raiders because I think he'll have a chance to succeed. I feel like he didn't get his chance to succeed. And I feel like with the Saints, he has freaking weapons, bro. And he has coaches that are willing to change it. Dude, they made Jameis Winston relevant again.
Right.
Like, they can do something with this guy.
So this is proving my point. I absolutely agree with that. So, had Derek had that in fucking Oakland or Vegas, why is he because there's that asterisk, well, he didn't have it, so no. Like, what if he did, then yeah. So why is he not considered one of the top quarterbacks in the league, whether it's top 5, top 10, or in a discussion period? But Dak Prescott is. Same team, same organization, same coach, same results. That's all I'm saying. And this segment is always going to get dicey because you and me can talk about sports and music, but we can talk about sports pretty much to the end of time. But that's just kind of where I'm at with that, because I wanted to hear from a Cowboys perspective. Like, I know you guys get a lot of hate and attention that y'all don't want, and I feel that we're kind of like right with you in the top 3 of teams you either love or hate. So I get it, but you are always in the spotlight whether you like it or not. So I'm asking you, I'm just trying to pick your brain. Like, what do you think? Like, I mean, and I appreciate the honest answer. Like, I mean, you kept it real, you got the stats and whatnot, but like my argument's the same, if we're going to play this what if game, then Derek should get just as much credit, because he's had to go through a whole lot more. And like I said, if it wasn't for that injury, like, he could have been a Super Bowl champion, bro. You never know. Like, we were on a roll that year. Like,
and that's all it's about, is getting hot at the right time.
He was the MVP candidate, and and then he got injured, and we came back one same year. Then we got Gruden, that whole mess, and the guy's had he's had a bad luck career. You know? 100%. And he still has broken records, and he still has mad stats. Like,
I just don't understand why they got rid of him. I'll never understand it.
I don't either.
One day the Cowboys will get rid of Dak, and I won't like it. But
I honestly hope he gets a ring. I wish the guy that I follow on Twitter. I love Derek Carr. Like as a person, I don't know him personally, but he's a good guy. Like, he deserves. He's a hungry, passionate player. Like, he cares about his team. He's a family guy. He's got a big family too. Like,
but that's what sucks
jersey,
about.
I got his jersey hanging. I'm not throwing it away.
Yeah.
I'll throw it on, whenever the Raiders aren't playing, like their bye week and the Saints are, and I'm watching it with Kobe. Like I'll support them. But it just goes back to my point, man. Like, because Dak Prescott is on the Cowboys and that spotlight and this and that automatically has to be in the conversation, and then automatically gets pushed, up and down on this like scale, and I'm like, come on, man, you're like, and I can make the same argument about, Matt Ryan, maybe not the same exact argument, but like, he's like,
I feel you.
He's had like, he's never been able to recover from the Super Bowl, but that guy's a good quarterback,
He is. But I mean, it's just something we're always going to take personally because we love our quarterback, and it's not like, hey, I love the Cowboys and I love the Cowboys too. There's been quarterbacks that I think they suck, or I didn't like this guy or that guy. You're talking about Dak Prescott. That's my guy, because when he came in, Romo got hurt before Romo got hurt in the preseason. He was playing the Rams. He threw some passes, and I'm watching the preseason. I'm like, this is my guy. I'm buying his jersey. I ordered his jersey. He was a backup. I'm like, this is my guy. I'm going all in on him because I feel like he's going to be the guy that takes the reins. I want to be on his bandwagon first. I like his character. I like what he does on the field. Like, I'm down. Like, and as a team, when you don't have anything and you want to latch onto something, I'm going in. And then when they trade that guy or they cut that guy, like they cut Zeke, and you're like, man, dude, it sucks, bro. But like you said, like, I will always support the players that I really like, because at the end of the day, yes, we love the teams, but let's keep it real. Just because that guy found another place to get paid from doesn't mean I don't respect all the things I respected that made me like him in the first place.
Hey, it goes back to the same old thing, man. We're just fans, dude. I don't own the team. I don't coach it.
I know it.
Play for the team. Like, there ain't a whole lot I can do.
I don't take it personal. I love talking sports with people, and trust me, dude. Like,
I don't make the decision.
I've seen you go through heartbreak. I know it, but I've seen you go through heartbreak. You've seen me go through heartbreak as far as like basketball, baseball, football, anything. You know what I mean? So it's like we can nudge each other, but you can nudge me. But like the next guy coming around, he better not say anything. But it's like, that's my cuz. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's whatever. Like, I'll keep it real with you. But the next guy coming around that I don't know, I ain't trying to hear it from him.
Man,
so you know what I mean?
And I'm not trying to nudge you, man. We're talking sports.
Right? No.
Like, I wanted your opinion, and then I have my opinions, right? And I should be able to let you know that as much as I support you and your Cowboys and all, I'm a football fan too, so I'm talking, you know what I mean? Like,
hell yeah.
But and that's one thing it does suck that, like, it has to be one of the toughest quarterback positions in the league to be a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
Or the Oakland Raiders.
The
Las Vegas Raiders.
It doesn't matter whether you're America's team or not. Like, the spotlight, when the spotlight's on you, the spotlight's on you.
Spotlight, yeah.
People demand results, and deep pockets.
High-profile
their pockets to get deeper, and winning is everything. And blah blah blah. And like, I give credit to the guy. I am not taking anything away from Dak Prescott or the Cowboys or organization or anything. There's a lot more fucking worse teams out there with bigger problems. You know what I mean?
Trust me.
We got it better than most. Most of our losses and love losses on the field. A lot of organizations are doing a lot of shit outside of the field.
I know. I'm just glad it's like, hey, because we are the teams that they talk about outside the lines. It's like, hey, I'm so glad. Let's just keep it in the lines right now. So, you know what I mean? That's the Cowboys Raiders thing that has in common. But I'm going to challenge you to keep up with the AFC this year, and I will keep up with the NFC. So when we have these segments going forward, we both know, kind of what's going on.
Right. Real quick before we end this, we got fantasy football coming up. So soon we should be able to do a mock draft. That'd be fun.
Oh, what's gonna happen? I think we should do one live. That'd be actually pretty dope.
That'd
We
be
can
tight.
screen share and do that whole deal.
That'd be
That's a
tight.
good idea.
We got the DFL, Diggins Family Football League, in case you don't know. We got a
Yes,
trophy
sir.
and everything. I should have won last year, but
Me too.
yeah, but I was there, dude. I was in the championship. So, real quick, funny story. What happened was basically the playoff game that got put. Was it a playoff game? It was right before the regular season ended.
I think it was the last. It was the second to last week before the regular season because it threw everything into chaos.
That's right. It was the playoffs, but the Bills game with the Cincinnati Bengals, the injury that basically, forfeited the game or ended the game, and then the way the NFL handled it, which I thought was fine. I have no beef with how the reality of it played out. What was, I guess, the irony of it, the trickle down effect was for anybody who was in fantasy football. I'm sure it affected a lot of people with point systems and whoever you go. We do Yahoo, so if you play fantasy, those last couple weeks of regular season is your playoffs. So even though that was a regular season game, it was a playoff game playoff game before the actual championship. And I ended up winning that week with or without that game. I ended up winning, but it wasn't enough points to actually win the championship because the game never ended. The game never was replayed, so it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because I had.
God, dude, that sucks.
I had a Bills player and a like the Bengals running back or whatever. And
I'm sorry. This is starting to come back to me now.
So had the game played out, because I only lost by a couple points.
Who'd you lose to?
I lost to your brother. I lost to Ted.
Oh, the champion. Oh my God! I was pulling for you. God.
Yeah. So Ted is his older brother, my cousin, who wins all the time. How many plaques does he have on that trophy now?
He's got
the first time I actually won the league, I beat him. That year, Ted was undefeated. I beat him in the championship game. I Eli Manning him and won the trophy. It was going to happen again. Ted was undefeated. We meet up again.
This is a storyline here.
This time I lose, and it's because of things out of our control. And I remember we were group texting as a family, and I was like, there should be some kind of asterisk, or we should share it, or something.
Definitely an asterisk.
Like there's like something like there's some kind of injustice that was here, and if it happened to because it's a family league, so like my sister and there's a lot of females involved. I was like, in my head, I'm thinking if it had happened to one of the women, we would have gladly accommodated, the unfairness of this, But because it was me and Ted, it was like, sorry,
whatever, cutthroat.
And it was never brought up again, so I'm bringing it up now before we go to the next season. Whatever. I'm coming for that trophy for sure this year.
Hell yeah!
I got hold out last year, but all joking aside, I'm glad everybody turned out okay. The player, Hamilton, whatever it was, Hamilton, right?
DeMar Hamlin, yeah.
Hamlin, yeah. So I'm glad everybody turned out okay. I thought the NFL did handle it appropriately. So no love lost with that, with the whole reality of it. But yeah, the trickle down effect was kind of like, come on.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those things. I'm sure for a lot of people, dude. Yeah. That's what sucks. But I'm definitely looking forward to the Fantasy Football League. DFL, baby, it's going down.
DFL.
And hey, you ain't the only one that's swearing they're gonna come back, because I was over there with Darren, Jacqueline, my wife, and they're
Everybody's
all talking about
Everybody's
revenge.
talking.
So it's gonna be an interesting season this
We
year,
just gonna
man.
put
So
a
yeah,
we just all just get together and just do a lynch mob on Ted. Just come
yeah,
after Ted.
and we definitely need to have a kickoff party this year, either at the draft or at the first weekend.
Yeah,
So
that'd be fun.
we need to start talking about planning that. But that was, did you catch that? I love the name of that segment. Awesome choice, Will.
It won't always be football. We'll talk about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we can kind of, we'll
We
talk
both
about a
love
lot
the
of stuff, but that's
Stros.
definitely sports related, and definitely the Stros coming up. It's starting to get into the good parts of the year. We got a lot of sports that we want to talk about, so we'll definitely have a lot of stuff going on for segment 4. Did you catch that?